Hey, I'm dealing with a lot of muscular weakness and fatigue. Sort of just feel like I want to lay down all day, every day. I'm literally in my pajamas. I came back from my dental appointment. I had cleaning. Canceled my classes yesterday and my class tonight. Still trying to figure myself out because this journey started with me looking into ADHD, and I just think there's so much going on. Possible hypermobility, possible EDS, possible POTS, who knows. I do know that I'm pretty sure I have a mitochondrial energy issue, a muscular skeletal, I don't know, disease or dysfunction. And I looked up something called distal myopathy, I think it's called. I could be saying that wrong, but it's when you have weakness in the hands and wrists, and I think in the feet and legs. I've told doctors for years that I tend to feel the heaviest weakness there. Not that I don't feel weakness in general all over my body, but it's just hard, and it's just a massive, too much stuff to think about. I look at my old list at Kaiser and how I had pelvic floor tightness, which who knows if there was a prolapse there, which could be connected to EDS and could be connected to hypermobility. All the allergy issues I had, all the spine issues, all the back stuff. And on the one hand, I'm glad that I'm still fighting to figure out what's going on. On the other, my brain just wants to shut down completely and be like, I just don't want to think about any of this for a while. I did finally get an MRI brain scan scheduled for this Friday, and I want to say excited. I don't know if I'm going to be all claustrophobic or freak out about it. I did an MRI for my heart once, so I did do the whole contrast in the vein and stuff, but they were looking at my heart, I think, mostly in the MRI machine. I don't know what difference there'll be with the stuff for the brain. My fear is like every test in the past, mostly blood and everything, they just never find anything wrong, and they'll just say, oh, your brain's fine. I just recently got tested for Lyme disease and a couple other things, and it was negative. So, my thought is that through all the different genetic testing that I've done, because I did one with Clarity X to see how I respond to drugs, and I did one with Kaiser for my heart, which also tested a couple things for mitochondria and stuff. I think I have a muscular skeletal disease or dysfunction that has caused an issue with mitochondria and like production of energy. I don't know if it coincides with like where I am in my cycle. Right now my period's late again. I'm about to hit 49 next month, so yeah. If it's not perimenopause, it's the perimenopause. It's tough. It's tough because I've had days where I felt great and I would get up and I'd have time to get myself dressed up and makeup and hair and stuff. And I'd feel fabulous, like I was still a vibrant person. And then I'd have like weeks of like feeling like this. So, yeah. Anyway. So I think I have a mitochondrial issue, and I think through my Clarity X test, there was also something to do with the dopamine issue and comp activity, which I think is also about dopamine. And I've talked in the past how like my Dutch tests have shown like I have issues with processing stuff, and I've always told Kaiser and other hospitals that like pills don't affect me the same way. Sometimes I have to take a lower dose and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm just building a list of these genes that have come up with variants and learning about homogeneous and heterogeneous and how like you can get the same variant from both parents or one parent or whatever. And so I'm gonna go do the brain scan on Friday, and I'm hoping to get going with a geneticist, referral to genetics at Sutter, because I'm with Sutter because I have Blue Cross insurance. And I'm still working on meeting up with GI to do a colonoscopy, because ever since I had my daughter, going to the bathroom has been interesting. Sorry for the TMI, but they never talk about that, about what women go through after they've given birth. Okay, spooky belt. Sorry, guys. The belt just went back by itself. A little spooky there. So yeah, I just feel like it's important to look at all the possible things to add on the list. I feel like I have a lot of stuff, and perhaps it coincides with, I'm probably going to say it wrong. Is it the RCCXX gene? Or like, I think maybe some of you have heard of it. It's like this whole theory that there's like a couple of different genes at a certain chromosome, I think 6, that like shows that this person could have the kind of genetic makeup or variants that leaves them open for a lot of different issues. And I'm like, that sounds like me. You know, and from any of my other people out there who've had allergies and thought, well, I think this is more than just allergies. I get triggered. Lots of stuff affects me. I can't be around certain smells and stuff. I've always wondered why all my senses are very high, and a lot of the areas where I have pain or issue tend to correspond with my different chakras, and wonder what that says physically, scientifically, and spiritually. Yeah. So yeah, I've got issues with metabolizing drugs. I've got issues with methylating, because the MTHFR gene. I've got issues with mitochondrial stuff and heart stuff, because my mother had hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and I think I might have this distal myopathy with the hands and the legs. I've always had issues with like as a kid I couldn't really swallow pills, and I still have to work on that. So, tight muscles but hypermobile, issues with swallowing, dryness in various areas of the body, and I think my dentist just told me I have a level 3 tongue tie, which no doctor has ever told me. They said my palate was within normal range, whatever that means. And I still don't know if this candida or not. I did a GI test and they said I had no candida. But I'm not hydrating the way I'm supposed to, I can tell. Always dry in the mouth. I don't know if it's POTS. I mean, yeah, it might be getting worse because of age, but it's always been there, at least maybe the last 15 years or 20. And I know the whole like feeling slow in the body while it was, in my PMS cycle was there since like as long as I can remember being with my husband before we got married, and that's like 20 years. And as a kid, I was always told I was a highly sensitive kid, which I don't want to say it always translates to ADHD and possible autistic, but I'm just starting to think maybe us nerds or geeks are more than just nerds and geeks. So I'm just going to keep on searching for the answers. Let you know what I find out. Okay.